Welcome back to Simrai Fashion Academy YouTube channel once again today. So today we'll be drafting this sleeve. Okay, we'll be drafting and sewing the sleeve you are seeing on the thumbnail. So to draft that sleeve, this is what you are going to do. I come in with my brown pattern paper, and you can see I've already folded it by 2. This is the open end and this is the closed end. Okay, so right away I brought my basic pattern. This is a basic long sleeve pattern. So I have a video on how to make a long sleeve pattern on this channel. So from the tip, that is beginning of my paper, I came down by 8.5 inches, as you can see, and on the folded part of my paper I came in by 8.5 inches. Okay, so I have 8.5 as a square, and I'm going to secure my pattern paper because we are going to draw out this sleeve you are seeing right now. So you have to secure your pattern paper. Okay, so I'm just trying to secure my pattern paper, which I've done right now. So I will also make sure what I have on this part is also 8.5. You have to keep it straight. Can you see? So I move in. Can you see? So I have it at 8.5. I'll also secure the down part of this sleeve. So I want you to also note that what I have on this sleeve, what I have on the paper is 2. You can see I folded my paper 2. One will serve as the front part of the sleeve and the other will serve as the back part of the sleeve. Exactly the way we have it on our basic long sleeve. So it's time for us to start drafting. So the first thing we want to mark out is the point at which this sleeve is going to end. So this part of this particular sleeve can be a short sleeve, it can be a bicep sleeve, it can be an elbow sleeve and all that. But I want this sleeve to fall in between the biceps and the elbow. So I'm taking 3 inches, which is half of it right there, and that is where I'm going to connect the sleeve. So if you want the sleeve to come up to the bicep, you can do what I'm about to do on the bicep. Now you can see that the sleeve is actually pointing up. The sleeve is actually pointing up. So at this point where the sleeve is pointing up, I'm going to follow exactly what I have on the paper. I'm trying to freehand what I have here. So it depends on how high you want that sleeve to be. Okay, so if you actually want it high, you come like this and follow the shape, as you can see. Can you see? So I follow the shape, and this is the shape I have right there. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to come in with my pattern paper, my pattern ruler. Okay, remember the sleeve is going to end at this point. So at this point I position my pattern ruler, or if my pattern ruler will not give me exactly what I want, remember this is the end of the sleeve. Okay, and also remember that you need to trace out this sleeve. We are cutting everything we have here up to this point, and this is the back pattern which I'm drawing right now. Okay, so it's going to connect what we have here on this sleeve, and once it comes this way, the next is to return back. This sleeve is going to return back. So I'm trying to see if I can freehand it, okay, to have that puffy look. Can you see? So to have that puffy look. So at this point you actually need to be creative to have what you want. Okay, so the shape of the sleeve is like this and goes into this. Okay, so we can take it at this. All right, so and we are done. So the next thing we are going to do is to cut out what we have on this sleeve, and I'm going to cut on the back line. So I want to start my cutting from here because this is actually where the sleeve is going to start. So I'm taking off my basic sleeve, which is the sleeve support. So this is the where the sleeve is going to be, and I cut the back sleeve. This is the back sleeve. So once you get here, okay, you can just connect it. Okay, don't make it look so, you can just sharpen it so it does not look, you can see the gap I gave there. I actually need this sleeve to be bigger than what I have on the screen, so I'm added some allowances to it. So from here I'm going to cut. Okay, so you can actually shape that sleeve, shape it the way you want. Can you see? So that is what I have here. So right here you can see what I have here, and that is the sleeve. Okay, that is the sleeve you are seeing there. So this is the below the bicep line, which we took the measurements, okay, at 10 inches. It depends on where you actually want it to stop. So like I said, if you want it to stop at the elbow, you can go by the elbow line. So this is what we have right now. So this is the back sleeve. Remember, the front is always smaller. The front of the sleeve is always smaller. So I'll be writing here as my back, while this part is going to be my front. So since it's going to be my front, I'll just locate the center line from here to here. I'll just get the center point and come down by 0.5 and reblend, so we have that fit. We have that fit that a sleeve usually has. So you can see how I'm placing mine. Can you see that? And you come out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out this excess to fit into the sleeve. As you can see, you see it, I'm throwing it away. So I call this my front sleeve, and that is where I'm going to attach the front sleeve. So right now, what I have on this pattern, you see this part, we are going to sew it as one piece, while this part is going to be open and sewn on the armhole. Okay, so let me cut it on fabric and show you what it looks like. All right, so now I'm done cutting my pattern on fabric. So you can see this is the front and this is the back. So the front part, you can see the 0.5 inch which we had to the sleeve head. Note that here is the sleeve head. So at the sleeve head right here, the sleeve head, I'm going to make a notch. That is where we are going to start our sewing. So make sure you make a notch at the sleeve head. So the notch I have here, I'm going to sew off what I have right here. I'm going to sew like this till I get to the end, and sew like this till I get to the end. But right now, you might also decide to shaping what you have right here. Okay, you can shape what you have on this part, so you don't have this part too big. Okay, so to shaping this part, you need to shape it on the you have to shape on your pattern first. All right, so on my pattern at the end, the sleeve hem, okay, I might decide to, if you want it to just hold you on on your bicep or below the bicep or the elbow, you can just make it a little to hold. Okay, so here I have 13 inches, so I'll just shape my pattern. 13 divided by 2, here I have 16 and a half, because I just want it a little closer to my biceps or my elbow length, so I'll just shape it like this. Okay, all right, so these alterations is by choice, but I think it will give that sleeve more shape at that point. Okay, so you can see what I'm cutting off at this point. So I'm cutting both back and front right now. This is the excess I'm cutting off, that is, I'm adding seam allowance. All right, so now I'll be going over to the machine to sew this sleeve now. So the most important thing for you to note is that there is at the sleeve head there must be a notch, and I'm going to sew down here to this point. Okay, and then I will sew down here to this point. Then this part will be open to be attached to the armhole. All right, so I take off my pattern, my back and front pattern, and I'm going to merge front and back together. Also note the part that is front and back. This is front, I'll write it here, so when I'm fixing it I will know this part is for the front. So what I'm doing right here is only for one sleeve. Please take notes. Okay, only for one sleeve. So this is the notch. I'll secure it with my pins, and I will still keep matching this sleeve. So I forgot to talk about the stay. You need to stay. You can see I have a hard stay. Okay, for that sleeve to stand like this, you need a hard stay. It's not even a soft stay. You need a hard stay to that sleeve. Okay, all right, so I've matched it up, and I'll go to the machine now. I'm going to sew it round and bring it back for you to see. All right, people, so down I have stitched the sleeve. You can see all of this part has been stitched to the hem, and I stitched the sides as well. So the part I left open is the round armhole part. You can see that, and I have a notch right here. So I want you to note that for fixing this sleeve on that particular shoulder, okay, you have to identify the mid armhole. So you can see this curvy part is the mid armhole. You are going to make a notch to it. So when fixing this sleeve, you'll be fixing only this part on the armhole, okay, just like you do in off shoulders. And this part has to be piped. Okay, you can see how I'm piping it. You can use your bias tape, or you can use the same fabric you are working with to pipe it. You can even run a straight stitch, because it's going to rest right on top of the shoulder. Okay, this part is going to rest right on top of the shoulder, while this part is sewn at the front and at the back. Can you see? So this part will be resting on the shoulder like that. Okay, so now I'm going to make notches. I'm making notches so I'll be able to turn this sleeve. You can also reduce the sleeve if you wish. You can also reduce the seam lines that we have there, but when doing this, please be careful. So I'm just reducing it so I'll be able to turn and have a smooth edge at that point. Okay, so this is where the sleeve sewing stops, as you can see, and this is the size of the sleeve. I can also decide to reduce the side of the sleeve. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my sleeve. I'll turn it around to the front and give it a good press. Okay, so I'm turning it from the armhole, where you are supposed to fix on the armhole. You can see that. Okay, so once you turn it around, Okay, this is the where the arm will pass, and this is where you have the puff. Okay, so you can actually use this sleeve for so many things. It's a trendy sleeve. Can you see? So we have that effect. You can see that effect right there. So you will now go ahead and hem. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial is just to show you how to go about it. You will hem where your arm will pass, and hem here, okay, with your bias tape, and hem this part with your bias tape. So when fixing on the off shoulder, you fix this part. The off shoulder part has to be fixed first, okay, while this part rests on the shoulder like this, and this part goes up like this. So I'll be putting it on the dress on for you to see how it looks like. All right, lovely people, so this is what we have on the sleeve we just drafted. You can see how beautiful and gorgeous this sleeve is actually looking. So like I earlier said, you can have this sleeve sewn to the armhole of your off shoulder. Then the upper part of it will definitely rest on the shoulder, okay? Once you sew in the armhole part to the part we notched, all you need to do is to use your bias or your trimmings to trim the shoulder part of this, okay? And once you wear it, it rests on your shoulder, okay? So you can see that the sleeve is actually looking, you know, exaggerated, gorgeous. If you want it to come down a little bit on your drafting paper, just reduce it to your desired shape, okay? All right, so I believe you learned a lot from this tutorial, and this is how we can come to the end of this tutorial. If you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends, and drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you for coming once again, and see you in my next video. Bye.